Now, the most amazing thing about these two tricks is that they make your chapatis very soft and very layered, yet they are very, very simple tricks. So hello guys, welcome back to Being Moligen. I know you have been wondering how your friends make chapatis and you've been asking them, what do you do when you're making chapatis? And they don't want to tell you. But worry less, I am not like them. I'm going to tell you how people make soft and layered chapatis. So first things first, let me take you through the ingredients of the day. And to make chapatis, I have some flour, and this is wheat flour. I have some sugar. You can use any sugar that you have. This is brown sugar. I have some salt that I'll use to balance the taste of the sugar. And I also have some vegetable cooking oil. I'm going to be using some liquid vegetable cooking oil. And I also have some equipment that I'm going to use for this process. So I'm going to start by adding all my flour in that sufuria or that equipment that I'm going to be using to make the dough for the chapatis, and I'm adding all the unga. I'm in the village visiting my dad, and I want to make a lot of chapatis so that they get to enjoy before I go back to work. So I'll add all the unga or all the flour in the sufuria. Next, I'll add some salt. And then I'll add some sugar. Now give it a quick mix to ensure that all the ingredients have mixed up together nicely, and also so that you aerate the flour. And that is what I'm doing. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to make a hole in the middle of the flour, and then I'm going to add some cold water. This is the secret number one. Use cold water when making your chapati dough. It works for me. It makes my chapatis very soft. So that is the first trick. Remember, I'm going to give you 4 tricks. I'm going to give you 2 tricks for making very soft chapatis and 2 tricks for making very layered chapatis. So stay tuned. So once I've added all my water, I'll keep mixing the dough until I get a very soft dough like this. So ensure that your dough is left soft. Don't make a very hard dough. This is the second trick for making soft chapati. The first trick was to use cold water, and the second trick is to leave your dough when it is very, very soft and add oil at the end of making the dough. Do not add oil when you're beginning your dough making process. I add my oil after making the dough, and when it is already ready, this is when I add my oil. So once I've added my oil, I mix the oil properly, and by folding the dough in like that until all the oil disappear in the dough. Yes, until all the oil disappear in the dough. That is when I stop mixing this oil and dough together. So as you can see, all the oil has disappeared in the dough, and you cannot see any oil. Now this dough is ready. I'm going to cover it and let it settle for like 30 minutes before working on it. And this is 30 minutes later. The dough is very soft. As you can see, it is very, very soft. Just the way I wanted it. Very, very soft. Now I'm going to go to the next step, and that is of cutting this dough into desired shapes, into desired sizes. I cook big chapatis, so I cut a bit big size of the dough, but there's a way my hands just measure it. So once I feel that size, I cut it and put that dough in the tray. And I'm using flour. Remember, my dough is very soft, so I'm making these dough balls with the help of flour. And now I'm done making the dough balls. The next thing I want to do is to work on the dough, on the individual doughs, and this is where I'm going to teach you the trick of making layered chapatis. So I'll start by spreading my dough properly like this until it is wide enough. Then I'll add my oil. We all know when you add oil, you get layered chapatis, but I'm going to give you extra tricks for extra layers of chapatis that you will use for the rest of your life. So look at what I'm doing. I'm going to do that. I don't know the name of this, but that is what I do and it works for me. So after pricking the chapati like that with the fork, I sprinkle some flour, or I sprinkle some flour. After sprinkling the flour, I then go in and fold in the chapati. I fold it in like that nicely until I folded the entire chapati. And then once I'm done with it, I give it a nice massage like this. And then I'll go ahead and fold it in and make a spiral thing like this. And this is what I'm going to do for the rest of the dough balls. And then I'll leave them to settle with the oil and flour inside for another 30 minutes before working on them. Now these ones have rested for like 30 minutes, so I'll go ahead and start working on them. So next I want to share a trick that you will use when cooking your chapatis so that they are cooked from both inside and outside. They don't just cook from outside and not from inside. And this is now when I make my chapatis, or now when I cook the chapatis on fire. So I start by spreading the dough that has been settling down with some oil and flour in it, folded. So I'll spread it into a nice round shape. I'll fold it into a very nice round shape like that. And then when it is wide enough and shapeful like that, I go ahead to roast it. So this is what I do. I put the chapati on the pan. Then I give it time to cook and dry. Then once I see the chapati dry on one side, I turn it over and then I add my cooking oil. I don't add cooking oil directly on the pan. Remember, it makes your chapati burn without cooking from inside. So I apply oil on top of the chapati. And then after that, I flip over and then add some oil on the other side. So the oil will cook the chapati when it has already roasted. This helps the chapati cook from inside. If you put your oil before roasting the chapatis, they burn from outside and don't cook from inside. So I'll keep turning the chapati until I know it is ready, or until I know it is cooked, and I'm going to remove it. And then this one is ready. I'm going to remove it and go to the next one. So I'll show you this closely. After putting my chapati like this, I'm giving it time to roast, and I'll know it is well roasted when the chapati is dry from this side like this. As you can see, it is almost completely dry. Then I turn it over, or I'll flip it over. And then once it has roasted like this on top of the pan, now I add my oil. If this is your first time watching a video from this channel, it is so good to have you here. I am so happy that you clicked on this video. Now don't leave without giving this video a thumbs up, leaving me a sweet comment, and subscribing to this channel. In this channel, I post videos on African village life and also cooking videos. So ensure you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss on these interesting videos that I post here each and every week, and also sometimes after every 3 days, because sometimes life in the village is just too exciting to wait until the end of the week. And if you are a returning subscriber, guys, you know it is always good to have you here. You guys make my day. Thank you for always supporting this channel. Now, when the chapatis are cooked, I put them in a sufuria where I have lined with an old magazine, as you can see. So the old magazines helps with the absorbing excess oil while the chapatis have been removed from the pan. And now look at my chapatis. They are very soft, they are very layered, and they are just super yummy. I love chapatis. I love chapatis made by me. And try this trick. Try those 4 tricks and you'll come back and tell me the results. Ensure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more videos. Bye-bye.